Okay, here we go. 3 Days of Gettysburg. One of the great battles of the American Civil War series from GMT. I've laid out on the map here some red glass beads for the Confederate victory requirements. So the Confederate side will need to hold all of these points in order to have a victory, geographic victory. The rules actually say that the hex that's all the way down over there, CSA may occupy this hex anytime after the 1400 turn on July 3rd. So they're going to have to wait until the last day to have a geographic victory. They can also have a manpower victory if the Union player has at least 12 divisions that are ineffective. And cavalry brigades count as divisions. The Union manpower objective is for the Confederate side to have at least 6 divisions that are ineffective. And their geographic victory is they need to hold those 3 points in the town of Gettysburg, and there can be no Confederate units east of the Emmitsburg Road here, which is that road right there. And I believe it says that has to be after, the 0500 turn of July 2nd. So the Confederate player needs to get units either into the town or east of that road before the 0500 turn on the second day. We've got the cavalry units set up here for the Union. Buford's units here along the Chambersburg Pike, and Heath starting to come in. Game starts at the 0700 turn on July 1, and I'll be back after some interesting things happen. End of the first turn, the 0700 turn. Getting ready to move on to the next turn. Just looking at what happened here. So the first decision that actually had to be made, the Confederates had the initiative in the first turn, was should Heath's units move first, or should I pull the March chit first? And I liked it to do the March chit first in order to get the artillery moved up as far as possible, because they were a little boxed in with the March column on the road back here and all these woods in front of them. They were up on this hill over here. So they were able to move after I got the Davis's March column out of the way. I only moved in 2 equivalent AMs just to avoid some fatigue, and moving them a 3rd AM, I had actually looked at it, would have put them in right around here. And then Buford's front units that were started the game out here possibly could have had some decent shots into the side of them if I had moved them up. But both of Heath's chits came out of the cup first. So he was able to move up. He's got a line forming there. The artillery moved up. I also elected to dismount Gamble's units. We'll see how that goes. The last time I played this game, Gamble was able to get a little bit further forward because I did not dismount during the first turn. I believe they actually took up position somewhere over here. They might have been able to move earlier than Heath in the last game. Devon's coming up behind. Got the reinforcements out for the 0800 turn. We've got some more parts of Heath's division coming on here. Pettigrew and Brockenbow. and the Union reinforcements, I believe that's Wadsworth, going to be coming in down there. And then this is Doubleday over here, which is currently being commanded by Raleigh, or Raleigh, I don't know how you pronounce it. But the reinforcement chart for that particular unit says these units arrive at this time on a dice roll of 0 through 1, otherwise go to their next scheduled appearance. So let's see if they're going to show up. It's a 3. They will not show up this turn. So I will look at the efficiencies, draw some efficiency chits out of the cup, get the activations ready, and come back and show you how the turn's going to start. First step of the next turn in the sequence of play is the initiative. So we roll 2 dice, giving a +1 to the side that had initiative last turn. So we have red and blue here, Confederate, Union. Confederates get a +1 because they had initiative last turn. And it is a tie, and I believe it says that no one gets initiative if it's a tie. Yeah, let's see. If the modified rolls are tied, no one has the initiative. So no one will get to pick a chit out of the cup. Be back. Next thing is to determine the chain of command. Almost everybody here is in chain of command except for Heath himself. Hill is his corps commander, and Hill is not on the map. So under the rules, then he is not in command. So that's going to have a couple of effects on him. That's going to mean that he cannot give orders to his division commander, or not division commanders, brigade commanders to change their orders in the orders change phase, which he really would like to do. He really would like to give Davis here switch to advance, I think, so he can get closer, but maybe we'll roll to see if he can do that when the time comes. Under the rules for the Gettysburg game, cavalry commanders act kind of like corps commanders, so they don't need to be within command of a corps commander, even though he's really not a corps commander. So he will not lose any of his activation markers. Oh, Heath is also going to lose 1 activation marker for his division for being out of command of his corps commander. The next couple things on the sequence would be the division orders, where you can change the commands of your brigades. Reinforcement orders, selected for Confederate reinforcements to have march orders, and the Union reinforcements also will have march orders. Activation, efficiency determination, I've already done that also. Go down over here to the player 8 cards. See, just to see what Reynolds would pull out of the cup. I pulled a 1 for him. Buford down here pulled a 3. So with Buford's +1 activation, here you can see the actual chits that will go in the cup. Buford's going to have 4. Heath will have 2. And we have both the march for the Union and the Confederates. Here, down here, we've got the Union reinforcements with their march orders. And we can see the 2 that I pulled for Heath. Actually, it's for AP Hill's core, but Heath is the only one in the core right now. Oh, and like I said, since Heath is out of range of his commander, Hill is not on the map, he pulled a 2, so he has to subtract 1 from that number, and only 1 will go in the cup. So I will throw all these in the cup and start to pull them for the turn. A couple of chits have been pulled here on the 0800 turn. One of Heath's, well, Heath's only chit came out and he moved up. During that activation, there was some artillery fire from Pegram trying to disorder. There's a cannon under Gamble here. It wasn't successful in disordering that cannon. It did disorder the dismounted cavalry unit that was there. One of Buford's chits was drawn before that as well, and that cannon did actually disorder one of Archer's units there before it was able to advance, and then during the advance the approach fire from that cannon disordered another unit. The Confederate March chit has also been drawn. I tried to change Davis's orders when the March chit was drawn and rolled a retain and stand. So Davis will be doing nothing on this turn. Who's this? Rockenbow advanced on the side over here using 3 AMs and incurring 1 fatigue level. And Pettigrew came up on the left here. This could be a little risky. Still in under march orders, essentially in march column. Devon could potentially get over here and cause some problems. Now normally this would be a little too close while under march orders, but it's within 4 hexes and line of sight, and there's a ridge here and intervening unit, so they can't be seen back here behind this ridge, so they should be okay. The Union March chit was also drawn, so they are pulling up. I've got all of the commanders stacked together. Since Reynolds moved more than 10 hexes, he will have a command range of 0 next turn, which means he needs to be stacked with anyone he wants to give orders to, so they're all together. A couple more Buford chits to come out, and then we'll wrap up this turn. So Buford just had a turn. We had something kind of interesting happen. There is a, let me try if I can see if I can do this left-handed. There's a 6 strength artillery unit down there. They fired grape shot into this stack over here. And so at that range, it was a +2 on the roll from the range, +1 for firing downhill, and there was the roll, a 9. So it was a 9 + 3. And since it's grape shot, you look at strength 6 column on the small arms table. 2 step losses and a disorder, a total of 12. So that 4 strength unit is now down to 2. And with the disorder result, the 3 strength unit underneath it had to take a UDD test and failed, so it is now disordered. So if we look down the line here at Archer's unit, he's got disordered, disordered, 2 disordered units in that stack and 1 non-disordered unit. And Buford still has 2 activations left on the turn. So he has a chance of disordering that unit on the end there and making Archer's brigade combat ineffective on the very first turn. I don't know if, I don't know, the other thing you might notice if you were paying attention to where the units were before is Gamble's unit didn't actually fire, they just shifted down, kind of crab walk a little bit to take advantage of some cover in the woods over here in case there's some advancing on this side. And then Devon is going to fill in over here. So there might not be a whole lot more action this turn, because I'll try to figure out how much fatigue I want Buford to incur. Probably going to get one round of firing in from everybody on the line here, and then, no, sorry, everybody on the line here, and maybe just move up here and then spend the last turn probably just rallying. There is a disordered unit underneath Gamble there, because if you spend an entire activation only rallying, it does not count towards the fatigue, so that would not be a fatigue incurring activation. 0800 turn is done. You can kind of see here, well, we'll move that glare to get out of there. Archer did get pushed back from fire. Units are disordered. There were some step losses. The originally strength 4 unit that was on top of this strength 3 unit here was completely eliminated by the cannon. It suffered another 2D result, so it was just completely wiped out. And then that unit underneath it failed its UDD again from that unit being eliminated, so it lost a point and retreated. But you might be able to see that the unit here on the end, it actually survived. It did take a result that required it to lose a step loss, but it passed its UDD for the disorder check, so it is not disordered. So Archer's brigade is not combat ineffective. They did do a little bit of damage shooting back. They disordered a couple more of the cavalry units there. Cavalry does not have very high, what is the number? Is it morale, the one that you use to check UDD? It's not very high, especially when dismounted on the Union side. So we'll see how long they can hold. Got to get the reinforcements out for the next turn and get all the efficiencies drawn. I'll probably load this up just so we can have a video up with the first couple of turns on it. The future videos might not be this in-depth because soon there will be masses and masses of chits on the board, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, probably just show interesting things that happen and come back a couple of times a turn.